Greetings from the Sub-Ether. This is Alan again with a continuation of the switch and shoot color basic experiment, where I've got a program where you start moving your spaceship across the bottom of the screen, and whenever you hit spacebar, it will reverse directions and shoot. And those are your controls. This is based on an arcade game called Switch and Shoot, where you dodge things, you shoot things, and you try to catch power-ups. So it's very, very simple to do something like this in BASIC. In fact, a lot of these modern casual games are so freaking simple that even a screen full of BASIC can replicate the basic functionality. But the one thing you can do in the arcade that this one doesn't do is you can fire multiple shots. And I guess the way I need to do that here is I need to do something like this. Bullet location. I'm going to allow up to maybe 10 shots. So instead of just BL, it's going to be an array. And actually, if you do 10, that's 11. It's 0 through 10. And any place I use BL, I need to now do a loop. So it's going to have to be something like this. This is kind of nasty. We're going to do it anyway. Go to here. I'm going to say for I equals 0 to 10, if bullet location I equals 0, then bullet location I equals location there. And then 41 next. All right, so now instead of just checking BL, I'm checking an array of BL in a loop. You know the problem with that? That's at the end of an if statement. So it really needs to look like this. Next. Else, next. That looks silly, but I have to trap the for I equals 1 to 10, whether the second condition is caught or not. So this really should probably be like a go sub or something like that. But that should work. It looks stupid, but it should work. Then in line 45, we have more logic. Bullet location. Well, what if we put that in a loop? Let's say 44, for I equals 0 to 10. Now we're really getting stupid. Line 45. If bullet sub I does not equal 0, then poke bullet sub I. Then this is a temporary variable, so we can leave that alone. And then we check this location. We can erase it and make it equal to this new bullet location. Otherwise, we poke the bullet location, set it back to 0. Something like that. 46. Next. Well, now we're really getting down in the weeds, aren't we? Starting to look pretty stupid. Now the thing about this is it's going to check all 10 bullets each time, whether any of them are firing, and it has to. But there's got to be more to it than that, isn't there? Let's find out. Well, that's really slow. Look at that. The delay loop and checking those each time makes this basically unplayable. But I kind of have to do that. Every time I switch, I have to run through the loop and see if there's a bullet that's not moving. And if there is, I need to start it moving. Well, maybe that's probably the problem. If I find one that's moving, I don't need to do the next. As soon as I find one that's moving, so maybe I can do it this way. Else next. So if nothing's moving, or you find one to fire, you don't need to check them all. Let's see if that speeds it up a little bit. And there's a couple of multiple shots. There we go. So this is very painfully slow the way I'm doing it, but you'll see that I can now have up to 10 shots on the screen, but still very, very slow and very, very flickery. So there's a lot of improvements that can be done, but you can see how easy it was to change BL as a variable to BL sub I. So the next thing I need to do is probably look at how this is structured with multiple shots in mind and try to come up with a much better way to do it. So maybe we will continue this, but in the meantime, there is the very basic framework of a one-button switch and shoot game. Until next time, don't panic.